Scott Disick has been reportedly distancing himself from the Kardashians following the Kourtney and Travis engagement news, and now we're hearing that he may be distracting himself with a much younger fling. So let's get into it.
Scott was spotted out in Los Angeles with a new woman on his arm, model Elizabeth Grace Lindley, who, according to varying reports, is either 20 or 23 years old. This is the first time Scott's been seen dating since his split with Amelia Gray Hamlin back in September after the couple dated for 2 years. It was also the first public Scott appearance since his ex and mother of his children, Kourtney, got engaged to Travis. Just a day after the romantic proposal hit the news, a source told Page Six exclusively that Scott was, quote, losing his mind over the couple getting married. The insider shared, quote, Scott is going crazy, adding, he's gonna go off the deep end. It's really bad. It's about to get dark. However, Scott seemed to be all smiles while hanging out with Elizabeth and friends at Hyde Sunset in West Hollywood. According to the Daily Mail, Scott and Elizabeth, quote, stayed out together with a group of friends into the wee hours on Friday, and eyewitnesses reported that they left together in a chauffeured car. Scott, who happens to be 38, does seem to have a thing for younger women. His ex Amelia was only 20 years old, and he dated Sofia Richie, who was 21 years old when they called it quits after 3 years of dating. However, according to Page Six, a rep for Scott did not comment on whether he and Elizabeth were an official pair or just friends. It does seem like Scott may be distracting himself from his feelings after reports that he felt completely blindsided by Kourtney's engagement news. And one source who spoke to The Sun seemed to think that someone in the Kardashian clan should have given Scott a heads up that Travis was about to pop the question. A source told the mag, Khloe and Kris knew that Travis was going to ask Kourtney to marry him, and they could have prepared him for the news. The source added, instead, they pretended they didn't know anything and kept him in the dark. Another source had a different point of view, telling Us Weekly, quote, the Kardashians adore Scott and tell him he's part of the family no matter what. Unfortunately, the insider added, quote, but he feels very distant and feels like an outcast more than ever. Scott has been known to have a tight co-parenting relationship with Kourt and to also go on family trips with the Kardashians. However, now that Travis is in the picture, it looks like that dynamic could be changing. The insider went on to tell Us Weekly, quote, he avoids family get-togethers that Travis is at, and he has refused to be in the same room with him at times. They added, it's fair to say the holidays this year are gonna be rough and will be a battle over the kids. Here's to hoping they get back to an amicable spot soon, and we have no doubt they will. After all, no one does a blended family better than the Kardashians.
For more on Scott's reactions to the Travis engagement news, click right over here for another clever video, and let us know in the comments all your thoughts on Scott's latest fling with another young 20-something. For now, guys, I'm your girl, Carly Henderson. Come say hi on social media at CarlyHenderson_, and I'll see you soon.